Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. The new musical Dr. Zhivago, which is based on the Nobel Prize-winning novel and the Academy Award-winning film, will open at the Broadway Theater on April 21st. And we're here at Celsius, where the company, led by Tam Mutu, Kelly Barrett, Tom Hewitt, Paul Alexander Nolan, and Laura Lee Gayer, gave us a sneak peek.
It gets better. At times it taunts you. It's a blessing, it's a curse. It can seize you in an instant. Anytime it chooses to, but it owns you for a lifetime. When love finds you.
I am so excited about this.
I'm excited that you're excited.
This is one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite books. So what has it been like working on this, Des?
Well, it's been exhausting at times because it's a mammoth novel, and it's an extraordinary film by David Lean. But that also gave us a great deal, of course, to work with. And at the center of this project, I think, is one of the great love stories of all time, and perhaps the greatest love story of the 20th century. And I have a personal relationship with it, like a lot of people, because I was a young teenager when the film came out. I was just going into my teens, and it had a huge impact on me. It put a human face on what had been shrouded in mystery for most of us. It put a human face on Russia, and gave us a glimpse of the soul of the Russian people during Soviet totalitarianism. So that had a profound effect on me when I was young. I also got to go there during the late 80s a number of times, and so I did develop a personal affection for Russia and Russians, which I've never lost. So this has been a privilege.
And working with this team, but Lucy Simon has such a passion for this.
Yes, she does. In fact, I think Lucy and David are together because of this, and I think we share that. And she also has a great love for the Russian composers, which I also share. I think they're some of the greatest melodists in history, and she has that talent. So I knew from the beginning she would be very well suited to composing this epic score.
And then there's your cast.
We have an extraordinary cast, and they've all earned the right to be playing these parts. Every single one of them. When we found Tam Mutu, I knew we had our man. First of all, he's done Shakespeare. I'd be happy to do Henry V with him. And if I got to do a James Bond movie, I'd cast him as James Bond. So it's when do I wake up? He's just perfect for the part.
And then, of course, you have your part of your family, Tom Hewitt, Paul Nolan,
Yeah.
that you've worked with many times.
Yes, I've worked with Paul Nolan and Tom Hewitt. I think between the two of them, it's probably around a dozen times. And so, but I'm completely unsentimental when it comes to casting. They are absolutely the best people for those roles. The fact that we have a shorthand is a real advantage, but they've again earned the right to play those parts.
What are you looking forward to the most with bringing Dr. Zhivago to Broadway?
I'm right in the middle of it, and that's usually
Hello.
So it's like running a marathon. So he was asking, what am I most looking forward to? I'm most looking forward in the marathon to hitting the next corner. But I have great confidence in this piece and in this guy.
I thought you were just talking about just getting here today, the marathon that you ran to get here. Yeah, it feels like a marathon running through all these people right now.
First, I want to welcome you to Broadway. How excited are you?
I know, right? I'm so excited to be here. Opposite Bryant Park. It's brilliant. I suffer dreams. I feel so lucky to be here, and thank you for speaking to me. It's great.
Well, you're going to see a lot of us this season. This is the Broadway community, so you're going to see a lot of us. What has this whole experience been like for you so far with working on Zhivago?
It's been wonderful. I mean, I was very lucky to sort of work on the workshop a couple of years ago, so I know a bit about it already, and that's what got me really interested. And and now for it actually to be a reality and happening, and we're here, and all these people are here, and it's great. I feel very, very lucky. I'm overwhelmed, to be honest. I'm overwhelmed.
Taking on this iconic role.
Yes, I mean it's. I was just saying to some of the other guys, it's like, I remember sitting in the living room with my mum and it being on in the background, the film, and her being sort of a little bit in love with Omar Sharif. And it's like, to go full circle and actually be like, I'm actually playing that role. It's like, oh my God. And she, when I told her, she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're playing that. She was so excited. So yeah, I mean, it's a very iconic role. There's a lot of work to be done. I need to brush up on my research and things like that, which I'm doing. But I feel so lucky to play that. I mean, it's like the ultimate romantic, and I am romantic anyway. So to be able to give that chance to do that is brilliant.
And singing this score.
Oh my God, she's great. I mean, you guys know what she's like. She writes Lucy writes killer ballads. She knows what she's doing. She's so generous with her music. And it kind of does it all for you. I kind of feel like you can literally just get up and just sing it, and it takes you on a journey anyway. It's beautiful stuff, and I love singing it. I feel very lucky.
Des McAnuff.
I know, and he's right there in another fancy suit. Yeah, he's a genius, and we're having fun in the room. I think it's kind of with stuff like this, it can get overwhelming at times, and you look around and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? But I'm trying to remember to keep my feet on the ground, have fun. I've got brilliant people around me. I've got a wonderful cast, a wonderful team. So, it's just fun. It's fun, right?
I was going to ask you what it's been like working with your cast. Brilliant.
Yeah, they are brilliant. And Kelly's just there, and she's beautiful. They've all been very welcoming. I mean, I got here a little bit late because I was finishing a show in London, which they all were really happy with me about. But no, they've all been really supportive, and we're all getting to know each other. We're finding things. We're playing in the room as you do, and it's fun. It's all about having fun. Make mistakes. Pick yourself up, learn, go again. It's good.
Have you been by the theater yet? Have you seen the marquee?
I didn't want to. I didn't want to because I didn't want to go, oh my God, that's happening, which it is. But I went past the other day. I kind of took a little diver, and I saw it. I was like, okay, that felt good. It's amazing theatre. What a beautiful theatre. So
you're in one of the nicest, one of the best.
I know, we're very lucky, and it's got a massive history attached to it as well. I mean, so touch wood. I mean, this will do well there as well.
What are you looking forward to the most with coming to Broadway and making your debut?
Oh God, I don't know, just being part of the community. I think everyone always says to me, I've got a lot of friends here, and everyone says it's such a wonderful community, and to be part of it. And I think just to take it all and experience it. I'm keeping my feet on the ground. I'm a realist as well, but I want to have fun, and that's and to work on something new and create something. I feel very lucky, and I think that's all part of it. I think. I need to tell you how you make me feel. You're like a song. I sing you all day long, a melody so strong and sweet and real. And I don't know if you'll ever feel this way, but I have to say what I have to say.
I wonder if you knew every time we met I was trembling inside. I longed to take your hand, for we stood so close, but the distance seemed so wide. I was waiting for a time, a turn to sign, as the days kept rushing by. And it all went so fast, the moment had passed, and I know that you're gone, but the hunger lives on.
How excited are you to be working on this?
So excited! It's an absolute dream come true. I'm ready to wake up and be like ready for another audition.
What was the audition process like? How did you find out you got the role?
Oh gosh, it was actually a really exciting and rather arduous audition process. I think I had 5 rounds, but Des called me to tell me I got the role personally. Yeah, and I was home alone.
Oh my God! Screaming at the walls.
Yeah, exactly. It was actually kind of a quiet moment of just almost like just alone in your own thoughts, being grateful. And it was
like when Liza sang in Floor of the Red Men. It's a quiet thing.
Yes.
These quiet moments.
It was a quiet thing. It was.
So tell me what it's like taking on this epic role. What she's like for you.
I always start with research, and I read the novel, and I watched the film and everything, and I love both of those things for different reasons. But for me, I had to go right to the humanity of her. She is a person the same way we all are people. And I think what made her so iconic in literature is that she was a woman being written in such a fully realized, complicated way. She's got this sordid past, this sinful nature. She's sensual, she's gutsy, but she's also virtuous.
Yep.
She's all these, she's very dichotomous. She's all these different things. And so am I, and so are you.
Yep.
And so I started there, and I just, I did all my, diligent actor work, my as-ifs and my wants and my intentions and stuff, but it's really just a scene-by-scene day.
It really has to be.
It is just a scene. If I tried to conquer it as a play in itself, I would crumble under the weight.
Working with Des McAnuff and working with this cast, what it's been like for you?
I love everyone. Des loves actors, and it's not something that you always get. And he loves his actors, and he's generous to them, and he wants their input. It feels very collaborative, and I love my fellow cast. They're so fun. Des is the biggest goofball in the. I'm sorry, Tam. Tam is the biggest goofball. Des too, actually. They both are. They're both cutting up left and right, and it's great because in a play like this, you'll die if you don't.
And then singing this score.
I mean, what can I say? One of the most beautiful scores I think that's been written in a long time. I think y'all are going to love it, and I'm honored to sing it.
My final question, what are you looking forward to the most with bringing Dr. Zhivago to Broadway?
God.
Big question.
I know. I guess, the audience's response. I live for that moment at the stage door when someone says, "You told my story." It's that.
And it's taking all my strength to hide the tears, and it comes as no surprise that he needs her in his lives. But it comes as a surprise. I feel him closer when she is near. I feel him closer when she is near.
What has this whole experience been like for you so far working on Zhivago?
Oh my gosh, it's pretty extraordinary. I mean, I keep telling people, I'm like, it's just epic. And then people are like, well, don't be so confident in yourself. I'm like, no. It's like the novel is epic, the movie is epic, and just the show is it's just epic. It's revolutions and affairs and death and love and just all the good stuff. And then Lucy Simon's music, which is just like epic within itself. So it's great. It's fun.
So when you got this or before you got it, did you see the movie? Did you read the book?
All I knew is that Julie Christie had an amazing hairdo. That's all I knew. And my mom was like so excited about it. So no, I didn't. But my mom and I, the second I found out, watched the movie. And then I tried to read the book and then tried to read the book again. And then I finally got through it. So yeah.
Talk about the role that you play.
So I played Tonya. And Tonya is, so there's Yuri Zhivago, Dr. Zhivago, and Tonya is his wife. And they grow up together after his parents die, and they have a beautiful childhood together, and essentially are betrothed. And then they marry, and they really are so in love, and he's so in love with her, and he happens to find Laura, this beautiful woman, and he ends up having the affair and stuff like that. So, super bitter about it.
It's also an epic love story too.
Oh yeah, I mean it's such an epic love story, and and I think the thing is that there is a great love between he and Laura, but there's also the untold love story between he and Tonya, which it's not necessarily the passion, but it's just a beautiful admiration of each other. She herself is a lawyer and an academic, and they just love each other's minds, and so it's special.
Okay, singing this score.
I can't even tell it. Like I was saying before, that it was like the first day of rehearsal, and we were Kelly and I were going through the duet that we're going to sing tonight. And I mean, like just the first couple of notes, you're just absolutely weeping, and I'm not emotional at all. And I just absolutely weeping, and you look at Lucy and you're just like, really? Thanks so much. I'm going to have to sing through snot. but it's beautiful.
Working with the cast.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty. It's a really amazing cast, and if it wasn't, then I wouldn't say it. But it's a great group of people, and Tam and Kelly and I have just really bonded, and then having Paul, I mean, who is just so amazing, and Tom Hewitt, who I could stare at all day, and I tell him, I mean, he's just so beautiful. It's hard to pay attention in rehearsal. So.
It's Des McAnuff.
Des is, first of all, he comes in every day with a different color tie, which just brightens everyone's day. And, like today he's wearing turquoise pants, so that's exciting. But he really, he's one of those amazing directors that loves the process. There's some that just want you to go to your place, but he wants to find it with you and discuss it with you, and it's just, it's pretty incredible. It's pretty.
What are you looking forward to the most with coming to Broadway and Dr. Zhivago?
Clothes. No, I mean, there's so much, but seriously, Paul Tazwell's costumes are going to be, I'm telling you, I have this wedding dress that I just cannot wait. So, it'll be fun doing the show, but let's be honest, it's the costumes.
I knew it.
Yes, it's the costume. No, but I mean, it's a really incredible story to get to tell people, and I think so many people have a relationship with the movie or the book, and to see it in this epic way is just really exciting.
Outwardly I thrive, inwardly I'm trapped, haunted by a shadow in my mind. Didn't want it, didn't need it, all the same the feeling grew. It's a goddamned inconvenience when love finds you.
How excited are you to be working? First, it's great to see you again.
It's so good to see you.
Working on this musical, what it means to you.
I know, right? Well, I've had quite a history with it. I was in a version of it in 2006 in La Jolla, California. It's been through some manifestations since then, some rewrites and some fixes. So, it's great. It's great to kind of revisit it again.
And talk about the man that you play.
I play Victor Ippolitovich Komarovsky. I think I said that correctly.
I love that you all can pronounce the name.
All right. Well, we've been working on it. Stephen Gabus is our fabulous dialect coach. He's drill it into us. He's a lawyer. So, right away, he's of questionable moral makeup. He's in love with Laura and appears throughout the show sporadically, helping Zhivago out of certain scrapes. He's able to sort of mold with the time. So we sort of see him throughout the arc of the 30-year span of this Russian history. And it's a wonderful, complex character with great costumes and some quality backstage time. So I'm happy.
I love that. And singing this score.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful, sweeping, epic Lucy Simon score with great lyrics by Michael Corey and Amy Powers, and a beautiful book, Michael Weller. Yeah, it's a great team. It doesn't get any better than this. So, it just feels really good to be in a room with all those people.
I just love the passion that Lucy has with this piece.
I know, yeah. Yes, and it's challenging to get a show produced, and she did it, and I'm so happy for her, and it's being done right. It's being produced really, really well.
Well, I told her timing is everything. It might have seemed like she's been working on it for a long time, but the time is right now for it to come in. You're going into the Broadway theater. You've got this incredible cast. I mean, talk about your fellow cast members of working with them.
Boy, that's so true. Getting a Broadway show done is so serendipitous. There's so many confluences of energies of the universe that have to come together for it to happen. And I think you're absolutely right. The time is right. I think, Broadway's going to be introduced to Tam Mutu. Oh my God, this guy is a star. He's just a star. And it's a great cast. Paul Nolan, of course, I was in Jesus Christ Superstar with him. It's great to be on the boards with him too. And it's a great. Everybody, we have a great supporting ensemble as well. And it's huge too. It's like 32 people or something like that. It's crazy.
Love it. Well, for an epic.
Yeah, and it is. It's epic.
Des McAnuff, working with Des again.
This is number 4 for me. 4th time. Yeah. It's great. I love being in a room with Des. He's a really great guy. A galvanizing personality, He's he knows how to focus a room, and that's really important in big shows like that. He's funny and encouraging and enthusiastic and focused, and it makes everybody else want to, rise up to his game. So it's great.
What are you looking forward to the most with returning to Broadway in Dr. Zhivago?
Paul Tazwell's costumes. basically, is what I'm looking forward to. I have some gorgeous costumes.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That's what the girls are telling me.
Oh my God, yeah, it's just beautiful. I can't wait to see the show under Hal Binkley's lights, too. Yeah.
Push aside the personal till every battle's won. Enemies to infiltrate, challenges to solve. Not presenting sentiment to weaken his resolve. But I hear her in the silence, and I feel her in the air. And
How excited are you to be working on Dr. Zhivago?
I'm so excited. It's the first role I'll be creating for myself on Broadway. So, starting with Jesus, then I went and played Guy in once, and now here I get to create it from scratch myself. And so that can be terrifying because there's so much that's possible for someone who has trouble making decisions like me. But it's just been awesome because we can create whatever we want with what's on the page for us. So I'm really, really excited to be here doing ZHIVAGO.
You have a brilliant director who can help you make those decisions, who you've worked with before.
Yeah, Des, as I was saying to someone else recently, Des kind of takes things and sometimes things that you think this will never work in a million years, and you don't have any ideas, and Des throws you an idea, and all of a sudden the thing spirals into something of great brilliance. So Des really can make he can just make so much of something that is typically done in a very stale and stagnant way. Let me say that.
This is such an epic story. Talk about the man that you play.
I play a man called Pasha Antipov, later on called Strelnyakov. And Pasha is a young revolutionary with great vision for Russia. But an event happens in the story that, to me, it cracks his mind. And from that point forward, his passion for Russia becomes an obsession for purifying Russia. And he becomes basically the commander of the Russian Red Army. And of course does horrific things in the name of purifying the great Russia. So it's a fascinating part, deeply psychologically complicated part, and it's terrifying to be challenged by that, but also I'm really excited. So
How excited are you to be working on this, Michael? Tell me.
I'll tell you the day after we open.
But has the experience been wonderful working on this?
It has been pretty amazing, yeah. I mean, the level of talent of my collaborators and the fact that it's going to be in a huge theater in Broadway, no playwright could resist the lure of that, Yeah, I'm very pumped.
Did you look at both the film and the book?
I did. And after I saw the film, I said, I can't do this because it's too good, it's done. But I read the book and I went, oh my God, that's a totally different story. And that I can do.
And working with Des McAnuff.
I've known Des for a very long time. And to me, he's just a genius, I think. And it's been a joy all through. He's a great playwrights director. He knows how to talk to you about improving a scene. That's great for me.
So what are you looking forward to the most?
Oh my God, for us to be open.
It's going to happen.
No, I know. But I'm actually looking forward to seeing the whole show, the way it hits an audience. I think it's going to be a great deal more and a great deal different than people expect.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What's it been like working on Dr. Zhivago?
It's been just fantastic. It's a dream come true. I've been working on this for about 10 years now and watching it grow in every phase and step of the way, and to be at this point with this amazing cast, I'm just over the moon.
What unlocked it all for you, staging-wise, musical staging-wise?
I think, Lucy has written a really romantic, lush score, and the characters are drawn so vividly that it lends itself to dance and movement. So it would be hard to ignore. Yeah.
Working with Des McAnuff.
Yes, it's wonderful. We've gotten to work together many times, and it's kind of like going back to school every time you work with him. And he's a bit of a historian when it comes to Russian history. It's really unbelievable. So it's always exciting. He's got these fearless instincts as a director that I just admire so much, and it's really it's really exciting working with them.
And talk about the epic scope of the piece.
Yes, it takes place over such a large chunk of time that I think Michael Weller and Des have done so well at condensing it, so you feel like you're going through this period of time, although it doesn't take 5 hours. You know what I mean? It really feels it's like satisfying, and I think that's probably the hardest thing people would wonder about ZHIVAGO is how do you take all that information in the book or the film, whatever the source material, and put it into a musical. But they've really done a beautiful job, and it is simple. It's 3 men in love with one woman and 2 women in love with one man. So that sings.
But I am so excited about this. Tell me what it's been like working on Dr. Zhivago.
Well, I love it. It's really a show that's been very different from anything else I've done. I have a co-lyricist, for one thing, and all of us are submerging our voices to tell the story of this show in its own voice and to make a soaring romance that speaks through the music. But just in general, when Des McAnuff and Lucy asked me, would you like to do Dr. Zhivago about 9 years ago, I was in the middle of writing Grey Gardens. I was in the middle of writing Grapes of Wrath. I said, let's do the Russian Revolution on stage. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of, and that's the ideas I do, the ones that I think are the craziest things I've ever heard of. We all delved into the book. We never wanted to adapt the film and find out why we wanted to do this musical. 9 years ago, the world was a little different, but over the course of all the events we've lived through, the growth of terrorism, the change in the politics, we found our theme, which is that what sustains the world through the vicissitudes of political change, of revolutions, of people seizing power, wanting to do things there, suppressing liberties, suppressing writers. We say poetry or music is what sustains the race and what lasts longer. And that's a message I love to give.
Totally.
I mean, these days when they're, chopping off the heads of journalists, limiting speech, it becomes ever so much more powerful and meaningful to work on.
How excited are you to be bringing Dr. Zhivago to Broadway?
Oh, Richie, I'm so excited. I mean, it's been a very long journey, and finally we're here, and it just feels like this is the right time. I mean, with all the stars are falling into place now. We've been working on it so long, and now finally we've arrived. The show is great, and we got the Broadway theater. I mean, what could be better?
So, did you love the novel first? Did you enjoy the film?
Truth is, I saw the film first. And then I read the novel and fell in love with the novel. I actually memorized the novel.
That's a long novel.
Long novel. It's a long novel and a long time to get this to where it finally is. I mean, there's so much in this novel. There's so much that's important historically, and so much story to tell. That to try to tell it all in the amount of time we have on the stage, and we had to do it very carefully and very specially and very lovingly. And I think we've accomplished that.
Talk about collaborating on this.
I have wonderful collaborators on this. So we have 2 lyricists, Amy Powers and Michael Corey, because they're different qualities of the score that needed to be included. And Michael Weller is our book writer. And Des McAnuff, of course, is a great director and is almost as passionate about the Russian history part of it as I, because it's just an amazing part of history in world history, but Russia. I mean, my God, the revolution and and that Pasternak was denied his Nobel Prize. I mean, my God, so much happened. So, and of course, the love story is what everybody connects to, and including me.
How excited are you to be working on this?
I am thrilled and delighted. It's been a while since we've started this process. Do you know how long?
How many years?
Lucy Simon told me to say it's been between 1 and 72. I think the actual answer is 12.
But you hear this sometimes. This is such an epic novel, and what you wanted to do with this, and the film. I mean, the journey you've had on this. What has it been like collaborating on this?
Oh, it's been a joy from start to finish with Lucy, because she's actually the reason that I came to this project. I met her and fell in love with her passion for this work. And I knew that it was part of her life's journey, to do this show, and I promised her, for as long as it takes, whatever it takes, I'll do this with you. And that was even before I got to meet Michael Corey. And that's been an amazing collaboration in and of itself, because I think Michael and I bring different strengths to the project. I have a background in pop music as well as musical theater, and Michael has a background in opera as well as musical theater. And I don't know if Michael told you this, but this was his first collaboration, right? So what happened was we started writing separate things, separate songs, and contributing them to the project. Now, after all this time, we're finishing each other's lines and sentences, and it's like a tennis game back and forth until we get the ball at the right speed, in the right.
He calls you the new Comden and Green. He said he loves this collaboration.
That's so funny. Yeah, we've really been having a great time inspiring each other to new heights of emotional truth in the work. And I think that's really important. This is not just because the book is 50 years old, doesn't mean that this is any less relevant today, that these feelings are any less relevant today for people. And we really want to communicate the universality of that, of what it is to be an artist, of what it is to choose love above anything else. And I think it's better together. We've really had a great time connecting and collaborating in that way.
What are you looking forward to the most with bringing this musical to Broadway?
Looking forward most to the opportunity to bring this story to a whole new generation, and to let this work speak for itself.
I love you, and I need to tell you.